Good morning and welcome to Story Time. How are you doing today? Yes, so glad you are here. We are reading today Why by Adam Rex and illustrations by Keane. Good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember that you can find Storytime right here on Facebook, 10:30 Pacific time, live every weekday, but also recordings are available after, and also you can find us on YouTube as well as Instagram. But please do remember that if you want a copy of yourself of the books that we've read, do be sure to find those links in the description. Good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining us. Ingrid, how are you doing today? And good morning to you, Anders. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad to see you here this morning again. Good morning to you. Sheba Chanda, how are you doing, my sister? Good morning to you, or is it good evening to you? Please let us know who is joining in with you and where you are joining us from. Good morning to you. Welcome. Isabella and Leslie, buenos dias. How are you doing today? Good morning to you, Luis. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you, Naima. Good morning to you, Dominique. And of course, good morning to you, Nia and Cairo. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us. Absa, welcome. How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you today again. Yes. Good morning to you. And good morning to you, Diane. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you, Ted. How are you doing today? And how are the kids? Please let us know who is joining in with you, Diane, and where you are joining us from. Yes, good morning to you. Thank you so much. So glad you are here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Dr. Cobb, how are you doing? So good to see you out here. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, the best science professor around. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you are having yourself a lovely morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Erica Ho, how are you doing today? Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, Dr. Corb. Appreciate that. Good morning to you. Brian from Emerson, how are you? Welcome. Thank you so much. Glad you are here. Yes, thank you. Isabella, Luis, and Leslie letting us know that they are joining in from Oakland right here. Yes, good morning to you. Thank you so much. Erica Ho, you say you're joining in with Colin and Jaylene in Vista, California. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Elsie and Sylvie in Seattle, how are you doing? Good morning to you. Yes, and good morning to your mom, Gretchen, and good morning to you, Ben. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Yes, good morning. Yes. Oh, thank you, Diane. You say you are joining in with Mariah, Noah, and Nessa. Yes. Just wanted those names again. Absolutely know who it is. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. Yes, united in the house. Good morning to you, Ted, and good morning to everybody. Yes. Good morning to you, Genevieve. Thank you so much for joining in with Zoe this morning. I hope you are having a lovely morning or lovely day wherever you are. Giada and Santiago, how are you doing today out in Sunnyvale? Yes, I know it was very hot the last few days out there. I hope today you get some cool, or at least are staying indoors, hydrated, and make sure to have your sunscreen. Yes, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Marika, how are you doing? You're joining in from Alameda, special ed provider. Thank you so much. Yes, amazing work that is much needed. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Ellen in cloudy Chicago today. Oh my, Chicago, what is happening? Yes, but otherwise, glad you are here with us, Ellen. And of course, thank you for your usual update. Thank you. Good to see you here. Thank you. Brian and Mateo in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh yes, and all the way out in Denmark. Good morning to you, Marissa. And good morning to Fiona, is it good evening? I have to keep my time zones right. Good evening to you. Hopefully it is a lovely bedtime story to take you to bed with all the sweet dreams hopped for you. Good morning to everybody that is joining in. Good evening if you're joining us from different time zones. Yes. Good morning to you, Kelana, and good morning to you, Kanayo, out in Dublin. Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Cody in Auckland, how are you doing? And good morning to you, Tracy. So glad you could join in. Lerato Chisomo, how are you doing, my sister? Thank you so much again. Yes, you are welcome, joining us all the way from across the pond, all the way out in Zambia. Thank you so much. I am glad you are here. Arav in San Mateo, how are you doing? And good morning to you, Monica. Thank you so much. Zayana, how are you doing? Joining us right here in Auckland. Miss Champion, good morning to you. How are you doing? So glad you are here with us, Tanisha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Chavala Jere, how are you doing? Yes, mix of names right there. Love it, love it. Chavala Jere, how are you doing? And you say you're joining in from Lusaka, my hometown. Yes, with Malaika, Yamikani, and Yelesani. Oh, and we have Chikondi in the house as well today. Beautiful, beautiful names. Yes, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Poppy and Rocco from San Francisco, good morning to you. Thank you so much. Olive Oil, how are you doing? So glad you are here. Chriselle joining in with Rocco and Clay. How are you doing today? All the way out in Long Beach. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Veda, thank you so much. Yes, our very own super librarian joining us this morning. How are you doing, Miss Veda? Thank you so much. So glad you are here. Melissa, how are you? And you're joining in with Riley right here in San Francisco, right close by. Yes, thank you so much. Walia and Kaluba joining us from Kitwe, Zambia. How are you doing today? And to you, Katebe Kunda, thank you so much for joining in with Walia and Kaluba. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Liam in San Francisco, how are you? And you say your first time on Story Time. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it, because today we are reading Why by Adam Rex and illustrations by Claire Keane. I hope you find it amazing. I love this book, and I hope you will too. Yes, good morning to you, Liam. Thank you so much. Olive Oil, thank you in Auckland. Yes. Danny, how are you doing out in Tennessee? Good morning to you, my brother. Thank you so much. Good to see you out here. And yes, yes, big hugs to the family for me. Thank you so much. Good morning to you, Elizabeth. How are you doing? And you're joining with Ben and Declan in San Francisco. Good morning to you. Yes, thank you so much. Brenna in El Cerrito, yes, right here, close by. Good morning to you. How are you doing? And welcome to Story Time. I am glad to see you here. Benjamin and Sheba, you're joining in from Lusaka. Thank you so much. Everybody that is letting us know where you are. Trinidad Shamba is watching as well. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. We will be getting back to the names, but yes, we will be getting started with our story right about now. Why? Why by Adam Rex and Claire Keane. And we'll be back to see who else has joined us after that. Are you ready? Yes. And remember, this book is being read with permission from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. If you want a copy for yourself, please do check out the description and see where you could do that. Get a copy for yourself. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. We are going to get started by reading Why, written by Adam Rex and illustrations by Claire Keane. At the moor, what happened? Go ahead and run, puny fools. No one can withstand the power of Dr. X-Ray. Uh-oh. Why? Good question for Dr. X-Ray. Because of my X-ray blaster, and because my battlesuit is indestructible. Why? It's made of mysterious meteor metal. Huh? Why? Because a meteor landed on my carport last year. Why? I believe it chose me. Chose to bestow on me unimaginable power. You ready for this, kids? Why? Because it is my destiny to rule the world. Here it comes. Why? Because the world has been very unfair to me. Why? I want things, but I don't always get them. Why? I don't know. My dad says I should try harder, but I did try. I put my heart and soul into that yarn store. It just didn't work. Why? I guess people don't knit as much as they used to. Why? Exactly. Why? Why? Knitting is amazing. And soon they will see just how amazing it is. Why? Because if they don't, I will zap them with my X-ray. Uh-oh. Why? Because none of them understand me. Even my dad doesn't understand me. He wanted me to be a doctor, a real one. Why? Because he was a doctor. Why? Because his dad was a doctor, and his dad's dad was a doctor. That's how it is in my family. Why? Because we all just did what we were told. So now it's my turn to tell people what to do. Why? Because I am going to take over the world. Why? Because I deserve it. Why? Well, all right, maybe I don't deserve it, but I want it. Why? Because I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it. Why? Because then maybe my dad will be proud of me. Poor Dr. X-Ray. I am the bad guy, aren't I? I thought I was the hero. Why? Because everyone thinks he's the hero. But why? Because everyone's battling something. Everyone wants to win. And that's what hero stories are about, right? Winning, and you gotta have winners and losers. That's it. But why? Good point. Boy, look at me. I don't even rue myself. Thanks, kid. You've given me a lot to think about. I could take over the world. But why? Exactly. There you are. Why must you keep wandering off like that? because, that's all you ever say. The end. Well, kids and everybody joining us out there, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Yes. Why? Why do we do the things we do? Why do we strive for the goals that we strive for, right? So remember that you can do what you want, and let us out there as adults, as parents, as people in kids' families, let us help them find their dreams and ask why. Let them ask why, right? Very important questions that we need to talk about. And yes, there are heavy discussions that are going on right now at home, and it is very important that we keep having those conversations with our little ones, and also figure out ways in which we can be better citizens for our neighbors. So just wanted to share that. And of course, that was why. It was an interesting one. And yes, that question kept coming up. It is one of those we have to keep asking ourselves. Why? And find out the reasons why we do the things we do, or the motivations that we have. But story time, we'll be back again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed that story today. We'll be back tomorrow for Isaac's Ice Cream Tree. Yes, find out what that one is all about. And that one is written by Angela Henderson and illustrations by Rachel Coppendryer. So do join us for that one. And thank you so much for joining in today. Let's just see who else has joined us for story time today. Good morning to you. Good evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes. So we have Katebe Kunda, thank you. You were joining in with Walia and Kaluba. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Trinidad Shamba, thank you so much for joining us. Olive Oil, as usual. Precious Mwewa Kaniki, thank you so much for joining us. And good morning to you. Maximo, how are you doing? You're joining in with Sarah Lee, thank you so much. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us with Roa Cinto from San Francisco. Veronica Pittman, how are you doing? Joining in with Paris and Kali, hopefully. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ada, Owen, how are you doing? Ilya, good to see you guys today. And Stefan, thank you so much. So glad you are here. Lacey, thank you so much for joining us. Emerson representing, how are you doing? Namaste to you, Maya and Pema again. Thank you so much. So glad you were here with us. Nora and Olive in Hayward. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, I hope you enjoyed that story today, and be sure to join us again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Precious Mwewa, you say you love the music. Excellent. Yes, that is the music of Taitu, our very own Zambian artist, right? Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Liz Beeson, how are you doing? The Caring Cargo, how are you? Thank you so much. I'm glad you could join us. Thank you. Yes, Chriselle Yansto. Absolutely. Numa Jerry, thank you so much. Michelle Jaramillo Cortez, my sister, how are you doing? Thank you so much. Yes, why? Thank you to everybody that joined in. JJ and Frankie, thank you for joining us from Lanzarote in Spain. Oh my God, thank you so much for joining. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that story, and I hope you join us again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that joined in. We have Hannah joining us. Hannah Hord Bernard, you're joining us. You said you loved it. Thank you so much. I am glad you were with us today. That was, yes, it was a good story. Very funny indeed. Thank you so much. But it does ask an important question that we need to be checking in and asking ourselves. Why? Why indeed for everything that we do? Thank you so much. Dr. Korb, thank you so much. Yes, why indeed? Yes, thank you. I'm glad you appreciated that one. Carden, or is it Caden, joined us in El Cerrito. How are you doing? And good morning to you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Ben Stewart, thank you so much for joining us. I am glad that everybody was able to join in and enjoy story time with us today. Thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow. From me, it is much love, and I will be back in the morning for Isaac's Ice Cream Tree. Excited about that one? Join us tomorrow, 10:30 Pacific time, or the time in your local area. Thank you. Oh, we have Ingi Didi Mugamya joining us with Benzu and Zangi from Lusaka. How are you doing? Gamwamba Benzu mulibyo gabotu. Twaliaga gamwamba gabota jabota kubonana. Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Benjamin, thank you for joining us with Sheba. I will see you in the morning. Much love from me, and it is bye-bye for today. Have a lovely day.